I talked a lot about the front end. You can see that we're a lot more vertical here. If you look at the old car, this used to be really laid back. So that's a big difference.
Is that driven at all by pedestrian?
You know, not really. Most of our pedestrian issues are here and here. Those are the tough ones, really. What is driven by pedestrian is this point right here. And we've got this really prominent diffuser. And this area is the one thing I like about pedestrian impact laws, because it forces us to pull this, what we call the ankle breaker, farther out. You know, that basically deflects the human body to the side and up over rather than underneath.
Breaking the shins, of course.
Yeah, that's you'll be lucky if you get away with just that, I would say. But you know, it makes the car look really planted, makes the car look really low on the road. I talked a lot about three-dimensional, you know, just the depth. Typically in the past we were doing all this very flush and just trying to get a deeper, if you think of like a human eye, you know, the deeper set eye looks more aggressive, you know, and it just looks more menacing. So we wanted a little bit more of that quality. The eagle eye nature of the front, really important. Coming around the side, the Shinari lines that I talked about, this front fender. And we've always done a pretty prominent front fender on Mazda design. Even the prior Mazda 6, it was more of a cylinder. But this we wanted to extend out. I've said it to death, but the pulled back A-post, really important. I didn't talk about the coupe-like cabin. We've managed a very slim profile to the glass. Again, that gives it a more coupe-like quality without compromising headspace. And I think we've still managed a good level of visibility considering how slim this is. Very clean body side, really kept that very, very pure. Rear shoulder quite pronounced. Towards the rear, pulled the pillar here a lot farther back than with the prior generation, where that cabin was a little bit more arced. We pulled this much farther back, pushed this corner much farther forward, and then really reduced this as much as possible. Again, that gives it this kind of coupe-like quality, which we wanted to achieve. The challenge there is maintaining aerodynamics, because typically you want this to be farther back and more square, but we were able to still manage a 0.26 on that. Across the rear, trying to keep things pretty clean, very horizontal. Again, you'll notice the three-dimensional quality to the trim elements. Typically, this type of thing's just done with a simple chrome band. We're trying to get that more knife edge feeling out of the rear. Also, we've gone away from the clear lens taillights into a more smoky, kind of deeper, richer look towards the rear. On the inside of the car, just a few key things. I talked about the horizontal nature and the driver orientation. What I didn't mention is we went with a much smaller diameter steering wheel on this car, and that's a kind of personal favorite. I just like small wheels. And this we kept really compact, but we did go with a thicker rim, so please note just the grip and the feel of the steering wheel. The graining and materials, you can see even just in simple areas like this, very matte surfaces, very doesn't have any shine. Everything's soft touch on the upper surfaces, and just the quality of these areas. We're really benchmarking premium products through that.
Are those pieces real aluminum or plastic?
I wish they were real aluminum, but no, they're not. What they are is a finish that has a high metal content, and that allows it to look so real. Also, just the shapes of the details I mentioned inside. And lastly, just the leather quality, the perforation, the graining, the blind stitching, how we handle the contrast. You'll also see on the other leather trimmed interiors where we have what's called almond color, which is more of an off-white, again with the contrast stitching. But I think just takes the quality of it to another level. And that's pretty much it. So guys, get out on the road.